Are you tired of searching for buyers abroad for your agro-commodities? Well, now you have the power to do it yourself. Introducing the Eureka Pack, your ultimate solution for finding buyers abroad for your products. No more relying on others to help you connect with buyers for your manufactured goods or your authentic African foods. With the Eureka Pack, you can take control of your business. The Eureka Pack is a practical guide designed for both current and aspiring exporters, providing you with invaluable insights on how to attract buyers abroad. Just imagine all the information and strategies you need to succeed in the global market, conveniently packaged in one powerful resource. So, you must be wondering, how do you get your hands on the Eureka Pack? It's simple. Visit our website at www.3timpexglobal.com or call 0809 124 4449. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity. Get the Eureka Pack today and take your business to new heights. The Eureka Pack, empowering exporters to reach buyers worldwide.
You are retiring. Are you an employee looking for work? Are you an agro processor, a farmer, and a manufacturer of different items in Nigeria? Do you desire to earn foreign exchange in euro, dollars, and pounds? Are you interested in expanding your market beyond the shore of Nigeria? Are you looking for how to start doing export business? Do you have an order and looking for how to go about exporting your product abroad? Then I have great news for you. 3T Impex Trade Academy, in conjunction with American Institute of Extended Studies, brings to you from export novice to export legend. This is an export mentoring program that helps you step by step until you achieve your goal of doing a successful and sustainable export business. New enrollment is currently ongoing. The program costs $1,250 and there are flexible payment plans to fit your budget. Enroll today.
Are you struggling to find buyers abroad for your products or services? If so, this video is a game changer. In our pack, How to Find Buyers Abroad, we tackle these challenges by providing you with proven strategies to overcome limited reach, insider tips to establish valuable connections, and practical techniques to attract paying buyers from abroad. You know the gist. This pack currently goes for 60,000 naira. How cool is that? See, this is the only guide you need to attract paying buyers from abroad. Whether you are an importer looking for forex, an exporter or banker looking for export customers, and agro processors, SMEs, manufacturers, and other businesses that want to sell abroad. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Call 080-9124-4449 or visit www.3timpexglobal.com to place your order.
Are you an agro processor, SME, or manufacturer? Are you looking to expand your market abroad? Then look no further. The Eureka Pack is the perfect solution to your problem on finding buyers abroad. The valuable materials that you get upon purchase include 2 manuals and 27 videos explaining and demonstrating how to use the manuals to find buyers abroad. It shows you how to 1. Get prepared to get buyers abroad. 2. Get the online tools to deploy to get buyers abroad. 3. Get list of markets with demands for your products. 4. Get the list of importers in that market. 5. Get the contacts of importers in that market. 6. Get the export contracts from the contact details of the importers. 7. Get favorable export contract terms. What are you still waiting for? Place your order via a WhatsApp chat to 0809 999 3142 or email to info@3timpex.com. You can get this pack for just 60,000 naira. Grab your copy now.
Are you a professional or a businessman? Do you desire to earn in dollars, euros, or pounds? Have you thought of taking your business to the world? Does it look like a daunting task? You desire to know what you need to do to get ready to go global? Do you know that there is a science behind making your product or service to go global in a successful and sustainable manner? To learn more about it, get a copy of the book titled built to go global. A scientifically proven, tested, and trusted template for building a successful and sustainable export business. To pre-order a 33% discount, call 080-912-44449.
All right, good evening, everyone. And thank you for joining today. We continue in the conversation around getting ready to trade under the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. If you are yet to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Voice of African Trade, that's our YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, share, and remember to click on the notification bell so you will know when we are live. If you're also joining us for the first time, we have a Telegram channel where you can get to have access to this link every week. Through this Telegram channel, you can have access to this link every week, and you will not have to follow up on us to be able to gain access to this channel, to the link rather, that we use for this program every week. If you also have a number of questions you will like to ask, typically on Thursdays, we don't have enough time to ask questions. Every week, we don't have enough time to be able to ask questions. Therefore, we have created a session on YouTube, on Facebook, and on TikTok on Friday afternoon, or Friday evening rather, by 5 p.m. for you to be able to ask your questions. As many questions as you ask, as far as export business, international trade is concerned. If you're here to get the Eureka Pack, how to find buyer abroad, here's an opportunity for you to get it. It basically shows you all you need to know as far as getting buyers concerned. And like I said at the other program, the previous program rather, having sorted the issue of getting buyer, we can then begin to look at the main issue where the work is, and that work is getting ready to get buyer abroad. But we are still on the preamble, and the preamble, basically, we are focusing on the AfCFTA, issues around AfCFTA. So we started last week, and we'll continue this week. So we started last week. Today we'll continue from where we stopped. We are looking at the possibilities of AfCFTA. There are several reasons why AfCFTA is good for Africa. The AfCFTA promises to replace over 50 small and fragmented markets in Africa with a single continental market of over 1.4 billion people. A single continental market of over 1.4 billion people, representing about 1/6 of the global population. When consolidated, the African market is approximately the same size as India. However, unlike India, which operates a single market, Africa is divided into more than 50 unique markets, almost all of which are individually small, too small to support investment on the scale necessary for industrialization of Africa. To present this in quantitative terms, in 2021, South African country had an average GDP of 10 billion. In addition, African traders face an average tariff of 6.5% when they trade across African 107 unique land borders. African 107 unique land borders. Substantial non-tariff barrier. Substantial non-tariff barrier resulting from regulatory differences such as divergent sanitary and unsanitary measure, technical standard, raise costs even higher by an estimated 14.3%. 14.3%. Intra-African trade is simply too costly. The power of AfCFTA lies with its ability to integrate and consolidate Africa into a single market, single 2.4 trillion market, thereby eliminating many of the barriers to trade present across the continent. Today, African external export. This answer on that question, the last question we answered was, why does Africa need the AfCFTA? The fact that Africa has fragmented market, which has not enabled us to be able to grow for obvious reasons. The fact that African markets have several borders separating them makes it very difficult for businesses to happen on the continent. Even though the population of Africa is like India, but we are not able to harness the opportunity available in a population like India because of the fragmented market in Africa. The fact that we are fragmented with numerous borders separating us is making it difficult to maximize the opportunity resident in the population of African country. Resident in the population of African country. Now, will the agreement do anything for African industrialization? Will this agreement do anything for African industrialization? Today, African external export as compared to its internal trade are overwhelmingly concentrated on raw material with little or no value addition. This is one of the reasons why Africa have remained small. The people enjoying trade are those adding value. So we keep buying from those who have added value to our raw material. For example, in 2021, African exported a total of 559 billion worth of goods. By the way, the export of Netherlands is almost 600. So Netherlands, 15 million population country, not even up to Lagos. Total export is more than the whole of Africa put together. Of which primary commodity is 431. 77% of African export is commodity. To provide a slightly deeper look, mineral fuel, that's crude oil, in particular accounted for 34%. 34% of African export being a raw material for petroleum, natural gas product. In addition, 12% of African exports are rubber, textile fiber, oilseed, pulp. African export composition leaves it exposed to several threats. Why? Because we are focused on primary commodities. Primary commodities are notorious for price volatility on international market, which inevitably translate into unpredictability in foreign currency revenue, leaving African countries incapable of planning for the long term. Number two, commodity dependence. Commodity dependence tend to worsen term of trade over a long period. In the long run, commodity export entail huge foregone income through lack of value addition and export of jobs to the country. Someone said, when you export commodity, you export jobs and import poverty. Evidence suggests that no country has been transformed by exporting raw material. Industrialization is the tried and tested route to a sustainable transformation. Industrialization transfer skill and technology, create jobs, inject hope and dynamism in society, whereas concentrating on extractive industry does not do this. So by lowering barrier to trade and incentivizing investment across the continent, Africa creates a conducive environment for African industrialization. Thus, when we talk about the AfCFTA as a transformation, now as a transformation for Africa, we are not just wallowing in hyperbole. We're describing the underlying thinking and true potential of the African project. Look at this chart. Between 2016 and 2021, African composition of external exports vis-a-vis African composition of intra-African trade. You will notice that within Africa, export out of Africa involve ore and metal, which take a good chunk of ore, and then you will notice, fuel, a good chunk, followed by manufactured goods, followed by ore and metal, followed by food. But do you notice something? And this is why intra-African trade is so important, because you can't export commodity to other African countries because they also produce commodities. They are not industrialized. They want finished goods. So if we are going to export among ourselves in Africa, we have to do a lot of finished goods among ourselves. Do you know what I would do? Do you notice something? The manufactured good is the major, even for Nigeria. Nigeria exports between 10 and 15% is to Africa. And majority of Nigerian export, besides crude, which goes to some other countries are refined, but majority of Nigerian export is manufactured goods. Manufactured goods. Manufactured goods. So if intra-African trade is allowed to thrive, of course we expect that to grow significantly. So can we say that the agreement will help diversify African export market? Yes, of course. As shown earlier, Africa is overly reliant on export of primary commodities. Between 2019 and 2021, primary commodity accounted for 76% of Africa's global export. On average, at national level, the situation is even worse. For example, primary commodity accounted for 80% of total export of 37 African countries. For Nigeria, it's 85%. For Nigeria, is 85. In fact, the last figure was worse, getting close to 90 in terms of crude oil export. However, the makeup of intra-African trade is more balanced. 2021, for example, mineral oil was just 21% of intra-African export, and crude accounted for just 6%. Combined, manufactured goods and machinery and transport equipment is about 25%. Intra-African exports were mainly driven by production of goods, higher value share, higher operation of goods, higher along value chain, like road vehicles, transport equipment. Therefore, AfCFTA promises to help Africa pivot from the extractive industry and secure sustainable and, of course, inclusive development. Sustainable and, of course, inclusive development, leading to a more stable foreign exchange revenue and increasing the variety of goods in African market. Variety of goods in African market. From a broader perspective, what can AfCFTA do for Africa? AfCFTA can do a lot for Africa. As a matter of fact, many countries outside Africa were shocked and very surprised at the rate at which African countries signed the AfCFTA, because we have a history of not being united on a number of issues, which has, of course, kept Africa to be very, very small. But this time around, the case is different. For AfCFTA, African country united significantly together just to ensure that we take full advantage of the opportunity which is already available in Africa, but we've not been able to take advantage of it. We are unable to take advantage of it for obvious reasons. Everybody is on his own. And being on our own has kept us very, very small. AfCFTA is expected to be a game changer for Africa. ECA, that's Economic Community, has forecasted the potential benefit the agreement can bring to Africa. As at by 2045, when you look at it against the current situation, it was estimated that the agreement will increase African GDP and output and welfare, while also having positive impact on poverty and inequality. Why the agreement is expected to benefit Africa generally, since it is an agreement focused mainly on intra-African trade. The impact here are expected to be greatest, as discussed, compared to AfCFTA, so African global export, which is highly concentrated on extractive industry. Its internal trade is much more balanced. And that's the advantage we already have. The fact that majority of trade within Africa are value-added goods. So it's more balanced, which gives continent a platform to promote the kind of industry that will help build resilience from external shocks. Going depend on commodity, any change in the price affects you. It's further estimated that intra-African trade in agri-food, services, industry trade are expected to rise by 49.1%, 37.9%, and 35.7% respectively by 2045, as compared to situation without the agreement. So see the chart. Look at this chart. In 2020, intra-African trade was 113 billion. That's 14.2% of total African trade. Services is 2.6, agri 20, industry 44, energy 32.6. In 2045, without AfCFTA, Africa will have grown its intra-African trade estimated to increase by 405%. That's times 4, 405%. Share of intra-African trade will only be 19%, as again 14%. Just about 5%. And if you look at with AfCFTA as our 2045, as projected, we expect almost 600% increase compared to today, times 6. But more importantly, is intra-African trade, which should be 24.6, a 73% increase compared to the level in 2020. And you also notice that the industry is growing from 44 to 59%. Remember, we have export discourse tomorrow on Facebook, on YouTube, and on TikTok. We'll go on a short break. When we come back, we'll continue.
If so, this video is a game changer. In our pack, How to Find Buyers Abroad, we tackle these challenges by providing you with proven strategies to overcome limited reach, insider tips to establish valuable connections, and practical techniques to attract paying buyers from abroad. Now the gist. This pack currently goes for 60,000 naira. But if you make a pre-order now ahead of the release date by June ending, you'll get an exclusive discount of 20%. How cool is that? See, this is the only guide you need to attract paying buyers from abroad. Whether you're an importer looking for forex, an exporter or banker looking for export customers, and agro-processors, SMEs, manufacturers, and other businesses that want to sell abroad. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Call 0809124 to find buyers.
If you are yet to get Eureka Pack, it's an opportunity for you to get Eureka Pack that has put a lasting solution to the problem of looking for buyer. Let's continue the question. What are the internal roadblocks, if any, that stand in the way of fully implementing this agreement? As reiterated before, implementation is critical. Nothing happens without it. But even with the best of effort to implement the agreement, there are still some hurdles to cross. Number one, supply capacity. Number two, hard infrastructure. Number three, governance and soft infrastructure. Number four, trade finance. Number five, trade facilitation. Number six, trade information. Number seven, currency convertibility. Let's look at them one by one. Supply capacity. Before talking about trade, Africans need to have the product and service to trade. That means production capacity needs to grow. That further means capacity to produce agri commodities and industrial products of the right quality and quantity at competitive price is highly inevitable. It also means having the capacity to produce and provide the range and quality of services consumer need at competitive prices. Trade, therefore, presupposes investment in building African productive capacity, which translates into investment in industrialization, in education, in research and development, and associated endeavors. That is why AU has come up with action plan for accelerated industrial development. Hard infrastructure. Africa came up with program for infrastructure development called PIDA to be able to ensure that road, rail are built. Both production and trade across border physically and electronically require the right type of infrastructure. Economic development is an infrastructure-heavy business. Without road, trucks, rail, rolling stocks, seaport, seafaring vessel, airport, and aircraft, no product can move from one country to the other in meaningful quantities. Likewise, without digital connectivity in place, none of the enormous promise of digital trade can be realized. So AU came up with this, boosting African trade initiative of 2012, recognize that for trade network to happen, it needs infrastructure. So we have the PIDA to take care of that. Governance and sound infrastructure. Equally important, none of these initiatives will exist or function in the absence of institution, in the sense of organization guided by a set of rules and norms of governance, rule of law, accountability, and access to fair, speedy, and impartial justice. That is why in 2003, AU created peer review mechanism as continent governance self-assessment device. The elephant in the room, trade finance. Trade finance. Trade cannot grow without finance. For finance to happen, we have to find a way to mitigate the risk. Many good and potentially viable business ideas and startups remain unrealized in the absence of funds. Cross-border trade is inherently more risky than, of course, domestic trade. In cross-border trade, the parties reside in different jurisdictions and they are subject to different law, transact in different currency, speak different languages, practice different culture and tradition. All of it translate to added cost and, of course, added risk. So trade finance instruments come in to manage the risk. Trade finance instruments like guarantee, like standby, like letter of credit, come in to manage the risk and doing so to expedite business across border. Trade finance is at its fancy in Africa, and government will, at its infancy in Africa and government will do well to patronize development of such facilities. We need more on it on the continent. The commitment contained in the BIAT initiative to accelerate the establishment of African Investment Bank was a step in the right direction, but has not yet been implemented. AfriExim is undertaking a lot of promising initiatives in this area. Of course, African Development Bank also is doing a lot to engage trade across Africa. In fact, the president of African Development Bank, Akim Adesina, was saying he had to literally facilitate trade between Kenya and Egypt, calling the president of the two countries because they were not trading with themselves. It's so funny. It's just too funny the way we are in Africa, which is also happening locally anyway. Trade facilitation. Whatever the commitment undertaken at the continental level to liberalize and expedite cross-border trade, the practice on ground in many countries remain challenging and at odds with those commitments. Yet again, that was why BAT initiative dedicated a section of trade facilitation urging AU member states to take measures at the highest level of government in order to facilitate removal of illegal roadblocks, checkpoint, illegal fees, and other rent-seeking practices. I hope we'll be able to achieve this. There are a lot of measures on this. In fact, there's a reporting mechanism to ensure this is implemented so that truck driver can report countries that are violating this. I'm hoping that they'll be able to report a lot of our people in Semeboda. Maybe that will force the government in Abuja to do the needful so that we can do our part in making the AfCFTA a reality. Currency convertibility. Currency convertibility. Currency convertibility. This has been sorted out. Africa has 42 different currencies. 42! That's why we have to rely on a third currency, euro, dollar, pounds. We have to rely on a third currency, euro, dollar, pound. To be able to trade among ourselves. But Nexim came up with the Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. Pan-African Payment and Settlement System. It enabled me to be able to trade. It enabled me to be able to trade. In African currency, I can pay in Naira and Ghanaian will receive cedis. I can pay in Naira and the Kenya will receive shilling. A South African exporter can pay in Rand in South Africa and I'll receive Naira in Nigeria. Currently, Africa is losing about $5 billion in payment of fees annually to Stancha, Citibank, Deutsche Bank, and all these big banks around the world that we use as correspondent bank to be able to effect payment among ourselves. What are the benefits? What does AfCFTA bring to ordinary African citizens? To begin with, AfCFTA is expected to reduce poverty across Africa, while the magnitude of poverty reduction depends on countries' existing socioeconomic situation. Modeling work carried out by ECA predicts that all countries will see improvement to their welfare. All countries will see improvement to their welfare and living standard. For example, by 2045, with full AfCFTA implementation, the number of persons living with extreme poverty that's less than $1.9 per person per day, will reduce by 90% in Cote d'Ivoire, 11.5 in Tanzania, 3.2 in Ethiopia as compared to the current situation. As compared to the situation without AfCFTA. But in addition to the benefit of the agreement at a high level, there are several specific pathways through which African citizens can benefit from AfCFTA. First, African citizens benefit in their role as the business person. As the business person. To the extent that African benefits, AfCFTA benefit African business, African citizens benefit in its or her capacity as the owner and, of course, the operator of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, as the owner and the operator of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. Second, in their role as worker, African citizens will also benefit. Research shows that African business environment that support entrepreneurship create more jobs. So we expect to see more jobs. The reason for having this conversation is actually to be able to provide information to individuals who should be thinking of taking advantage of this kind of opportunity. Finally, African citizens benefit from AfCFTA in their role as consumers. As consumers. Since in the end, every one of us is a consumer. When AfCFTA forces national market to open themselves to competition from other countries, more products and services will compete. So consumer can benefit. Because of competition, we expect that the prices of some of these products, of course, will reduce. Competition is always good for consumer because it creates more choices, bring better product and service to the market, and tend to make these products and services available at a lower price. Before we round up today, let's talk about specifically the protocol on women. Last week, I talked about the fact that there are 6 protocols that this program started with. We have protocol on trading goods, protocol on trading services, protocol on dispute resolution, protocol on investment, protocol on competition policy. But between COVID 2020-2021, a new one, 2 were added, protocol on women and youth in trade, and protocol on digital trade. Protocol on digital trade. So let's look at the one on women. The AfCFTA has potential to boost African trade, no doubt, but women in Africa face a number of barriers. Lack of access to finance, lack of access to market, lack of access to IT, ICT, and of course, gender-based violence. AfCFTA protocol on women and youth in trade aim to address this barrier and promote the participation of women in trade. The protocol is still under negotiation, but it's expected to include gender mainstreaming in AfCFTA, access to finance for women-owned businesses, access to market on women-produced goods and services, capacity building for women traders, and protection from gender-based violence. The AfCFTA protocol on women and youth in trade is an important step toward ensuring that women benefit from AfCFTA. It is believed if the women are empowered, Africa will be significantly liberated of poverty because the women are going to take care of the children inevitably, and that will significantly reduce issue of low level of education and consequently reduce issue of poverty and inequality on the continent. Now, the protocol has great potential to empower women to create jobs and to boost economic growth across the continent. The benefits include increased access to market. The protocol could help to reduce the barrier that women face in accessing markets, such as discriminating law or regulation or lack of information. Increased access to finance. Finance being provided for women-owned businesses through measures such as providing guarantees and, of course, reducing interest rate for women-owned businesses. Increased capacity building. There is need, like I said, and I've said this severally, that with the Eureka Pack, we have put final end to solving the problem of looking for buyer. If you're looking for buyer, just get Eureka Pack. You will learn all you need to know to get buyers. You put them into practice, you will get buyer. The question is, will you be able to do the shipment and be able to do a successful and sustainable export? Remember, this program is about getting ready for the export market. To be ready, the business, first of all, needs to be able to enter the market successfully, compete sustainably, and be able to establish, grow significantly to become established in the export market. So that's the real issue we need to deal with, because that's the one that have multifaceted challenges that we really need to deal with. The issue of getting buyer, in fact, is an evidence of lack of export readiness, because a business that is export ready, we get buyer. We get buyer. We get buyers. Increased capacity building, that's very important. Helping with skill development for them to be able to implement or take advantage of the protocol on women and youth. Protection of gender-based violence. Protocol also helps to protect women from gender-based violence through measures such as providing legal aid and support. Reduce tariff barrier. AfCFTA will reduce tariff barriers such as quota and tariffs, which will make it easier for women-owned businesses to export their goods and services on the continent. Specifically, a woman in Nigeria who owns a small business that produces traditional textile could now export a product to other countries in Africa without having to pay high tariff. Specifically, a woman in Kenya who is a trader can now travel more easily to other countries in Africa to buy and sell her goods. Specifically, a woman in South Africa who is a farmer could now export her produce to other African countries, which could give her access to larger market and, of course, larger prices. This is expected to boost the economy of the women on the continent and consequently impact on families and children and youth on the continent. Let's go on a short break.
Are you a professional or a businessman? Do you desire to earn dollars, euros, or pounds? Have you thought of taking your business to the world? Does it look like a daunting task? You deserve to know what you need to do to get ready to go global. Do you know that there is a science behind making your product or service to go global in a successful and sustainable manner? To learn more about it, get a copy of the book titled Pivot to Go Global. A scientifically proven, tested, and trusted template for building a successful and sustainable export business. To pre-order a 33% discount, call 080-912-44449.
If you are yet to join our community on YouTube and on Telegram, visit our YouTube channel It's called Voice of African Trade. Subscribe, like, share, drop your comment, and remember to click on the notification bell. Also, you want to get the link to this program every week, just visit our Telegram channel. Join the channel every week. The links are dropped on this platform for you to click. Simply join us when this program holds every week.
Are you tired of searching for buyers abroad for your agro-commodities? Well, now you have the power to do it yourself. Introducing the Eureka Pack, your ultimate solution for finding buyers abroad for your products. No more relying on others to help you connect with buyers for your manufactured goods or your authentic African foods. With the Eureka Pack, you can take control of your business. The Eureka Pack is a practical guide designed for both current and aspiring exporters, providing you with invaluable insights on how to attract buyers abroad. Just imagine all the information and strategies you need to succeed in the global market, conveniently packaged in one powerful resource. So, you must be wondering, how do you get your hands on the Eureka Pack? It's simple. Visit our website at www.3timpexglobal.com or call 0809-1244449. That was an incredible opportunity. Get the Eureka Pack today and take your business to new heights. The Eureka Pack, empowering exporters to reach buyers worldwide.
You are retiring. Are you an employee looking forward to retirement? Are you an agro processor, a farmer, and a manufacturer of different items in Nigeria? Do you desire to earn foreign exchange in euro, dollars, and pounds? Are you interested in expanding your market beyond the shore of Nigeria? Start doing export business? Do you have an order and you want to go about exporting your product abroad? Then I have great news for you. 3Timpex Trade Academy, in conjunction with American Institute of Extended Studies, brings to you from export novice to export legend. This is an export mentoring program that helps you step by step until you achieve your goal of doing a successful and sustainable export business. New enrollment is currently ongoing. The program costs $1,250 and there are flexible payment plans to fit your budget. Enroll today.
Are you struggling to find buyers abroad for your products or services? If so, this video is a game changer. In our pack, How to Find Buyers Abroad, we tackle these challenges by providing you with proven strategies to overcome limited reach, insider tips to establish valuable connections, and practical techniques to attract paying buyers from abroad. Now the gist. This pack currently goes for 60,000 naira. What is that? See, this is the only guide you need to attract paying buyers from abroad. Whether you are an importer looking for forex, an exporter or banker looking for export customers, and agro processors, SMEs, manufacturers, and other businesses that want to sell abroad. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Call 080-9124-4449 or visit www.3timpexglobal.com to place your order. Are you?
Congratulations, your search for buyers abroad is over. Through the help of the Eureka Pack. The Eureka Pack helps you do 7 things in order to get buyers abroad. It shows you how to 1. Get prepared to get buyers abroad. 2. Get the online tools to deploy to get buyers abroad. 3. Get list of markets with demands for your products. 4. Get the list of importers in that market. 5. Get the contacts of importers in that market. 6. Get the export contracts from the contact details of the importers. 7. Get favorable export contract terms. The Eureka Pack shows you how to enter the billion-dollar markets available for your products across the world at a very discounted rate of 60,000 naira. The valuable materials that you get upon purchase include 2 manuals and 27 videos explaining and demonstrating how to use the manuals to find buyers abroad. We know you are elated already and interested in ordering for the Eureka Pack right away. Place your order via a WhatsApp chat to 0809-999-3142 or email to info@3timpex.com. You can get this pack for just 60,000 naira. Grab your copy now.
Are you a professional or a businessman? Do you desire to earn in dollars, euros, or pounds? Have you thought of taking your business to the world? Does it look like a daunting task? You desire to know what you need to do to get ready to go global? Do you know that there is a science behind making your product or service to go global in a successful and sustainable manner? To learn more about it, get a copy of the book titled Built to Go Global, a scientifically proven, tested, and trusted template for building a successful and sustainable export business. To pre-order at 50% discount, call 080-912-44449.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. See you next week. Have a wonderful weekend and bye-bye.